Hi Gemini, welcome to New Era. My name is Emma. This is your general reading for the near future. Could be for longer, but I've asked for your near future, and I stopped to put an end date to it because if you find this message a month or 6 months or something like that after that I posted it, it could still be your reading. So if it resonates with you, it's still yours. I've started to incorporate the frequency of the today's number, the date of when I'm recording it, and it's 21 today. So the 21st of April 2020. So the 21st is all about, for me anyway, luck. Like it's a good vibe around the 21. We're like lucky in game, you play the lucky number 21. And then we have the number 2 within 21, which is all about conversation, communication, and relationships. And then the number 1, which is all about new beginnings. And then you add those two together, we have number 3, which is all about passion, creativity, joy, laughter, fun. So it's a good vibing, like, bottom line for your message. So let's see specifically what's Let's see specifically what's coming out for you, Gemini, for the very near future. And I'm using today's mystical wisdom deck. I just absolutely adore this. It's a bit tough to shuffle because the cards are so large. So I'm just shuffling a tiny bit, and if the cards don't fall out, I'm just going to put them down and feel what cards to use. I don't like the shuffle, pass forward. I hope you're all safe and okay out there. I wanted to say that I want to lower the cost of the extended reading. And then when I thought about it, I already had like, I don't want to cut like, oh, so the Friday and Monday reading will be, you know, at a higher cost, and Tuesday reading is all of a sudden lower. That's a bit unfair. So I'm like, okay, I'm doing this week with normal fee, and then I'm actually lowering the fee for rental for next week, because I want you guys to be able to afford it if you're having a tough time. Okay, so Gemini, what's going on for you? That card, and I actually want 2 more. So 4 cards, and the program in the computer reverses the image on the card, but I'll hide the bottom message so they won't bother you too much. This is an interesting mix. Aries had the same Okay, so I'm just going to start here and see where we're going with this. This is very much Pisces for me, very much a Pisces card for me. Just look at it for a bit. It's so gorgeous. It says gratitude on the bottom, and underneath it says be grateful for all you have. There's a huge like seashell, and there's like a picture, like we're looking at something from the past, we're picturing something, remembering something, being a bit nostalgic. So you might be a bit nostalgic about stuff, about things, maybe literally going through photos right now, having a lot of time on your hands. Depending on when you're listening to this message, you could be still in isolation or quarantine, or just being at home with a lot of time on your hands and literally maybe going through some photos, which reminds you of maybe childhood, or reminds you of earlier days, that's being brought up to the surface. But other than that, I feel like there's you're just looking at a very promising future. There's something about looking into the crystal ball type of feeling. Like, what can we tell about the future? You're very positive about the future. So if you're a Gemini that is in lockdown, or if you're feeling this pandemic wherever you are in the world, I think you're doing a pretty good job at not like having it be really bogging you down or having you at your worst. This feels quite good. There is a bit of a, if you listen to me before, you know that I talk about soulmates in a terms of unicorns and peacocks. And she's carrying like a earring situation here with two feathers, just two little feathers of the peacock symbol or symbolism. And so there might be some sort of soulmate situation coming in for you, Gemini, depending on where what your relationship status is. And this is not a love reading. I specifically just asked for the most inspirational, like the most uplifting story that you can hear and find right now for the near future. But apparently it wants to come through strong. Like it's talking about how you could be very solid, you could be very, very stable in an already committed relationship where you feel like you're truly with your soulmate. That is a very beautiful story going on. But for you guys who are in a separated situation or a single situation, I feel like there's a soulmate coming in with that earring thing. And the fact that it's in its ear, you know, it's not around your waist, it's not, I have a phoenix rising in this deck also where the feathers are just, you know, coming from all the way down. But it sits around your ear, like it comes out as it. There's like a, whether you're listening for it or hearing, like, depending on who you are, I was going to say, depending on how strong you are, you probably use a language saying you'll hear me say constantly, I feel, because my strongest sort of, where I pick up the emotions around, or pick up the signals around what's being given to me is the feeling of it, and then the knowing is the strongest, like feel and know. But for you, I think a lot of you Geminis, you hear, you're so sensitive around your hearing, you probably haven't even, like if it's too loud or too noisy or too off key or something like that, it really bothers you hearing wise. And that's because you have a very strong, I would call it a psychic ability, where you pick up most things through your hearing. That can also be like through dreams. So you hear things in your dreams. Your hearing sense is really, really on point. There's something to this around your soulmate, which is really interesting. Whether that is something that you share, like you share the passion for music, you share the passion for birds, like any, I'm coming out very short here now because music is all like the stretch that like what else do you listen to? Like listen to the birds, you're out like listening to the birds singing. Other than that, I can't really, sorry for being a bit very not creative here, you do the math here. Something you listen to together, go to concerts, have a shared passion for instruments or music or singing or something like that. We'll just have to wait and see. I was a bit all over the place, I feel like there's a bit of everything in this reading. And I feel like the energy that's coming through from the group is very we have Geminis being in very different places, so I'm just going to try to focus in on like one more specific energy. Then we have this sensuality card, which I absolutely adore. Express your sensuality, and it's a lot of like the rainbow energy around you, which feels like you're getting softer, you're feeling softer. It's not so hard and heavy on you, life anymore. It sort of has started to ease up a bit. You're not that empty. The cup is overflowing. You have a lot of things to give. And then again there we have the sort of a little visitor there in the back, like as a soulmate connection, as a soul family connection coming in, who's lifting the veil. There's something about lifting the veil and coming in, seeing you, and you're seeing them. And there's pure openness. I want to say, like, you're so if you've had like an edge to you before, if you've had sort of a guard up or a bit of a tough surface, if you know what I mean, like a bit of a guardedness or a defense that just automatically comes up because maybe through life you just needed to have that defense up. I just feel like that is easing up. It's like you're really becoming gentle and soft. And this could obviously be for a man as well, even though it says sensual, and this is a woman with her very lush hair. It could still be for a man. That if you're a man, Gemini, you could also have had like a very tough exterior, or tough, and maybe even more so being a man. God, is this you? Do you have trouble talking? Blaming everything on you that doesn't go well for me. It just feels like there's been sort of a softening of this, and if you're a man, you're not even, like, you probably were brought up, we call it women intuition. What is that? The intuition is for all, and so if we call it a women intuition, how do we then expect the men to feel intuitive, or have a gut feeling, or trust that gut feeling? That's really weird. But I feel like it's opening up more and more now. Like the younger men, younger guys, they're coming up. They're really way more in tune, because the parents to those kids has not been, like, we haven't shut them down in the same way. But anyway, I feel like there's a softness to you. There's something that has happened in your life, or just life in general has humbled you, so that you're becoming softer, you're becoming gentler. Excuse me. And this person coming in, I feel like this time around you're ready for them, or this time around, if you're in an already committed relationship, this is going to turn up as finding something new about each other. It's going to be sort of a newfound situation here, where you're going to start to show each other new sides that you probably haven't shown each other before. And it's really gorgeous. It almost turns into this love reading now, but I can't help it. It has just been one comment on that, maybe more, because I don't really have time to read through all of them. But I'm so grateful for the comments. It's not that, but I just had this one comment, like, because I did a general reading for, there was another sign a while back, and it was such a strong love reading that came through, and they were like, this wasn't supposed to be a love reading, this was supposed to be a general reading. What happened? And sort of, I will never sort of hinder what comes. I can't start to depict, or I can't start to control. There's no control in letting the messages come through. And so whatever comes through is going to come through. So I sort of can't control that. And I'm glad for that, because it makes my job easier. I can't second guess stuff that's coming through, okay? And I know nobody through the Gemini reading has ever said anything about it. I just want to say that if you wonder, like, I'm here for my general reading and here's love. Okay, then we have potential. Think big for your future. And here comes that grand feeling again. There's like you're planning, this. You're holding the sun in your hands. You're thinking ahead, and you're thinking in really good terms, in really good, like a high-spirited feeling. Like no limit. There's like grand, and it says think big for your future, and I feel like you already do that. If you're hesitating on something, and if you're second guessing yourself, or if there's something like that, you really don't have to be, because I feel like there's grandness coming your way, because you already planned it that way. And this is, and this is sort of the crystal ball that I talked about, like wishing through a crystal ball, like hoping for the best, wishing for the best ever outcome due to whatever that is for you. That it's like you're already there. You're thinking really greatly. Can you say that? With the fairies being on your side, and they're sort of cheering you on. They're sort of my magic, like a little. If the fairy shows up, it's like manifesting time. And this is you asking this other little angel or fairy in this crystal ball, or this snow globe rather, for what you want, and don't hold back. Like really go for it, Gemini. But I feel like I don't even have to say that to you, because it feels like you already are. But if you're not, then really go for it. And then I see something here with the, because I noticed like on the bottom here on the seashell. So this is a huge seashell that goes around like that, and then it's like the bottom of the seashell creates like a little foot, or a little, like a little bottom here. And then it's the same thing here, where it's the bottom of this little crystal ball or snow globe. Yeah, there's something to this, like being on the bottom, like building a foundation, starting from the ground up. It's like that's not up here, it's not anywhere else, and it's very subtle. The colors around this is very subtle. It's almost black and white, and here's very light pastel colors. It's like non-invasive. It's not like strong red or strong green or anything like that. It's very subtle. There's something to it being on the bottom. I'm actually going to do a, what is this thing about the bottom thing, creating something from the bottom? Let's see if there's a card on that, otherwise I'm just going to pull it. This is from the bottom. And apparently since it's coming out, I don't want to, I was like, why is that important? Because it comes out and it's of significance for some of you. 3 cards for clarifiers. Okay. Okay, so it feels okay. It feels that some of you guys are starting over. So with this bottom thing, okay, so you might have had the feeling that you built something already. Maybe you built a relationship, or you built a business, or you built something. You'd come a long way, and then it's like you had to start over. Maybe you lost a relationship, maybe you lost your job, maybe you struggle financially, struggle health-wise, like having a bit of a setback or something like that, with the feeling that I built all of this. There's a freaking forest there. I don't know if you see that. There's a little forest there. Like we built the trees from the ground up. We're like there's a foundation here, a pure foundation. It feels very raw. It feels very real, authentic, very up north here in Sweden type feeling. It's gorgeous. And then here also with the kids growing up, and yeah, that's what I said. Sort of saying you feel quite nostalgic, like looking at old photos, like look at how it was then. Like that's where we're starting. We built something, and it's like it came crashing down or came crashing in, and something ended. But I feel like it's not ended anymore, or you're just starting over. There's something you're being asked to let go of. We need to let go of that thing that came crashing in. And maybe that's tough for you. If that's a relationship that fell through, or if there's a job that you lost, or if your company went bankrupt, or if there's something in that magnitude. I understand that it's tough, but you're being asked to let go of that energy now so that you can move forward. So maybe there's not a mixed group of you guys. Maybe there's like not such a, wow, there's such a difference in the Gemini here and the Gemini there. It might be it within yourself. It might be that it's so one energy, because one energy is this. You're holding the sun and you're asking for big things. Like you're, and when I'm reading this, the potential, like think big for your future, is like, it's like I'm speaking to somebody who's already, you already know this. Like, yeah, of course I'm going to think big. I'm already thinking big. It's so big, I can't stand it big. But then there's something about, okay, so something came crashing down and you had to start over. It's been a roller coaster ride for sure, but we've stepped into, like, there's so many butterflies here, so many butterflies, and they just, these ones are the ones that are clear, and then they just continue on there further back, like just, there's so many butterflies. So there's huge transformation that has happened through this thing, through this breakup, through this starting over, through this, and this doesn't necessarily have, you know, it doesn't even, it could have been a couple of years ago, it could have been a year, a couple of years, 5 years ago, it could have been longer time ago, and you really have started to rebuild yourself already. It's not like we're just starting out. That's not what it feels like. It feels like you come some part, like up again. Around you, the energy is good. It really is. So you're being let go. So maybe you were. sorry, don't mean to laugh at all, but it's just letting go on the card. But I said like you're being let go. So maybe you were let go. Learn to let go is what it says on the bottom. This energy is still somewhat there. So if that's a relationship that you're missing somebody, or you can't get over, you might not even want to be back together with somebody, because there's a person coming in here. So there's a shift happening for you. Oh, there's a lot of things. Oh, Gemini. I keep forgetting that it's Gemini that I'm reading for. It's like so many things at the same time. And it sort of gets me every time, because I get a bit out of sorts. I stumble on my words. It's like, what's wrong with me? And it's like, and I blame your energy. And yes, it is your energy, but I can do a better job of staying grounded, staying more in my energy, which is a good thing. It's keeping me practiced in my own energy. There's something to it that maybe you let somebody go, or somebody let you go, literally like a person. And even though you don't want to get back together with them, there's some sort of energy lingering there. It's just staying there, and every once in a while you dip back into that energy again, and it does not serve you, and you know that it doesn't serve you, so it bothers you even more that it's, you know, that it's there. So that is holding you back a tiny bit, just a tiny bit. You're being asked to let go, and then what comes out is moving forward, and opportunity knocks, because this is what I ask for, and I didn't ask for it, but I asked for clarification around this. What is this on the bottom? Like, we built something and it was the feeling of starting over. What is that? The thing is that the thing that has, if you've been let go, if there's a person who broke up with you, if there's a health scare, if there's a financial breakdown, whatever that is in your life, you're coming out stronger for it. There's like you might think that you need to rebuild the whole thing, but you don't need to rebuild the whole thing vibrationally, and that's all we have. Like, you might think that so if there's something being stolen, or if there's something you've been working on and now that's lost, or now that's gone, or something like that, you have to start over. Or you have this is extreme. I'm not picking that up from any of you guys, I'm just using it as an extreme. So you have a house and you collected all these things, and whatever was in that house, and let's say that house burned to the ground, and I was like, oh, I have to start over, I have to find a house, and I have to build it up again, and with all the things, and oh my god, I traveled the world and I found some of those stuff in my house that was, you know, from Africa, and then that's the farthest away, and if you're in Africa, that's next door. But like, because I'm in Sweden and that's how far I've been to Australia, but still, it's like a feeling of I have to start over and oh my god, the job that I have to do. You don't have to do any job when it comes to vibration, and your vibration is already there. And that's a good thing to know. You can never lower your vibration. The speed that your body, your vibrational body, has picked up over the years, over the course of your lifetime, the speed from birth to wherever you're at in your life right now, the speed has picked up, and whatever you're losing physically, practically, has nothing to do with your vibration. The vibration doesn't all of a sudden like drop down to a newborn again. Everything you asked for, everything you've been wanting, everything you've not been wanting has a vibrational currency. We think we're dealing with dollars and Swedish kronor and so forth, but it's a vibrational currency, and that currency can't be altered. And that's so good to know, because it means that the only thing you need to do is sort of let go. And I know the only thing, it might be a bit tough, but that is really the only thing. You don't have to work your ass off. You don't have to work long hours to sort of make the same thing happen again. You don't have to really fight for your life. If it's a health scare, you don't have to, oh my god, there's no job to be found, I will never find anybody to live with again, blah blah blah, whatever's going on. I do not mean to disrespect you in any way, but I do mean to say it's so much easier than I would say the majority of people on this living earth seem to think that it is. If you let go of the resistance, that there's so much that you need to rebuild and build up again with your time and your effort, you know, if you let that go, there's a person here that wants to, like, you're listening. You're listening or thinking, or you're having the same, you're listening for your partner, you have the same interest or something. There is a soulmate connection here. In the back of your head, and you're hearing. Weird. And then there's a person there again who's lifting the veil to come into you. And now I get even more like how life has humbled you, because now I understand with these cards coming out and the energy that I feel now, I do understand why it has humbled you, like why you become gentler and what. But you know what? You could have chosen to become bitter. You could have chosen to just become really angry and cynical. But you haven't. You've chosen to be humble. Your cup is overflowing. You have a really good energy. And where was I? So you think you need to rebuild everything from the ground up. You don't. You have the same vibration that you came in with when you lost this thing. It might be a car, just for the sake of it. It might be a car that got stolen, but you still have the vibration of having a car. So that car will be so easily fixed to come back into your life if you allow the universe to cooperate with you. And what it has put you in here is that you built so much more due to this situation. If you were left, if you were fired, if you got a health scare, if you were financially broke through this pandemic, even being put down a bit, it has only strengthened you. We're having a strong polar bear, this one of the strongest spirit animals, saying we're coming out of this stale and stagnant situation. I always see this lady as the Statue of Liberty, which is the Fredsgudinnan in Swedish, coming out of the stale situation, moving forward now into warmer climate. And then we have opportunity knocks. This is opportunity knocks in the bottom, where you think big again. Like now you get to choose. Now like every thinkable energy bubble, like your fantasy is so grand, and like I want to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to do this. As soon as you just tap into that energy of yourself again, or the vibration that has not lowered anywhere, but anything, it has risen. It has become higher, because you've been wanting so much more out of this situation of feeling like you don't have anything, or you were being left. A lot of you guys are already well on your way back. rebuilding your life. There's a person coming in. There's new opportunities coming in. Opportunity knocks. It's knocking on your door. So let go of the old energy here and try to open the door. I'm going to pull more cards in the extended. So if you feel like this resonates with you, then maybe the extended will resonate as well. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you back in a week for your love reading. Take care. Bye.